Let me just apologize up front because I have no idea if I'm gonna have like anything to say in this video. I have been for the last like 6 months or so wanting to record one, and I kind of just haven't felt like there's anything to talk about, but in true, I don't know, true ramble spirit, we will soldier on, especially because I've been promising that I would put this out for a while. So I very distinctly remember sitting down to record the last one of these I made. I think it was about 18 months ago. I remember opening the video, gearing for a tree run, but I remember sitting there at the time and being utterly convinced that it was the last time I was ever going to record a ramble. I don't think I thought that I was going to quit the game or anything. Also, goddamn, what the fuck is this yield? I have Autos planted. Yeah, I remember just feeling like I kind of run out of things to say about the game and kind of just the point I was at in life, but I don't know. Who knows? Maybe not really feeling like I have anything to say will end up producing some, I don't know, moderately listenable insights. So I think we're probably just going to be doing Sepulchre for most of this, but I figured I would get a little visual stimulation at the very start for those of you who like to look at the screen during these, so you can see something going on. I'll probably very briefly touch on the banking stats and shit, at least since last time before I don't know, truly start rambling. I guess I can just start going over the stats now. So I'm still haven't maxed. I'm pretty sure I said this in the last one that my plan for this account was to not actually max until I passed my previous account. I don't know if I said if it was going to be pass it in XP or pass it in EHP. I'm almost certainly going to pass it in EHP well before I pass it in XP, just because I really haven't been touching combats much. Most of what I've been doing for the past year was I did 150 mil thieving. I did that combination of the chest for the coral frags. I did a fair bit of master farmer. I did a shit ton of czars, and then I don't know, I knocked out like a fair number of blood furies and like 10k crystal shards. I was trying to kind of just round out the stuff that I thought I would need in the medium term from thieving, and then this last 50 mil I'll just get passively from whatever. I know Sepulchre will be a fair bit. We'll definitely be back for more coral frags at some point, so we'll get the rest of that passively. But as far as what else I've been doing, really just like AFK gatherers a bit. I'm doing a little bit of 3-tick mining. I'm at a 30 mil mining, 23 mil fishing, 38 mil wood cutting, 22 farming, 24 agi. Most of the stuff is otherwise pretty unremarkable. I haven't trained it much. I really haven't been playing a lot. I don't know. I'm in kind of a weird place with this game, which should be a little bit of the fun to kind of talk about. I really do appreciate how just the nature of recording videos like this, it sort of forces me to kind of verbalize relatively complex feelings I have either about the game or about life in general, or I don't know, how I see the use of my time, which is actually, I think, a very healthy thing to do, especially since, like, I don't know, the anonymity of the internet certainly allows me to be a little bit more, I don't know, open than I otherwise would be with people I talk about similar stuff in real life with. So I've got a really fast coral and seaweed run. Let's do herb run. I just changed my layout for this, so it's probably going to look a little bit clunky. I've started using these hotkeys for Sepulchre for the 4 cardinal directions. This shit is super nice. I don't know how it took me this long to start using these. Oh, I'm way too low on C's. I think I should have more ears than that. It's no big deal though. So, what am I actually working on? I guess I might as well talk about it. When I'm on the PC these days, I'm really only interested in doing either agility or 3-tick mining. Not much else really kind of scratches that itch that I'm looking to fill with the game. I'm enjoying the gatherers at work. Gives me something to do. It actually was an observation I remember making a long time ago in one of these videos that I recently have been watching the Mad Season show, like Blind Iron Man series. And I remember him talking about how having the game on the side like made him feel less distracted and almost more productive in other areas. And I definitely feel that way about playing on mobile, like at work, just doing gathers and stuff, because I end up actually interacting with my phone way less than I would be if I wasn't doing anything, or like I wasn't actually playing a game on it, because then I would just be on, I don't know, who knows what. Just because my attention span is so short these days. I don't feel like talking about that though. That's a not exactly a point of pride. So I think kind of the working title I've had in my head the last hour or so when I decided I was actually going to record tonight was kind of something to the effect of like, I want to talk about skilling in a like a way that doesn't have goals, or really like, I don't know, any of the traditional hallmarks I think of as like the skilling play style. Like when I was relatively into this back in the day and I was first starting to make these rambles, like I was talking to other skillers all the time. I was like involved in the community. I was in, I don't remember what clan I was in at the time. It might have been Olympus. I hopped clans a couple different times. And like I was, I don't know, updating my temple every couple of days. I was like keeping a track of stuff like that. And I'm really not doing any of that anymore, which is really why like even now as I talk about the concept of having goals, like they're not even so much goals in the sense of like, I think it will feel good to achieve these. They're more so goals in the sense of like, when I want to play the game, what is most likely to give me the type of mental stimulation or mental relaxation that I'm looking for. And it's really, I'm probably going to talk about Sepulcher a fair bit in these vids. I know that in this video, I know the last couple things I've uploaded on this channel have all been Sepulcher, and that's like, I haven't actually been going super hard in it just because I don't really play the game that much on the PC. I don't have a lot of time these days, but when I'm logged in on the PC, that's what I'm doing, and it really has kind of filled the perfect gameplay niche for me between the I don't know, like the focus and input intensity of relatively high effort skilling and kind of some of the similar like background brain cycles that come along with that. But it also has a fair bit of like the quick decision making and keeping track of game cycles in the back of your head, and just kind of that engagement that really drew me to doing Nylo. I was doing Nylo speedruns for about 18 months. That was like more or less all I did when I was playing the game. I don't even remember if I was still doing them or not last time I recorded. That was probably around the time that I stopped doing them seriously. I really didn't do them at all in 2025. I hadn't touched them at all in 2026 so far. I did try briefly when I dropped in like August or something like that. I managed to get to tie the world record for waves. I think that was like 302 at the time, even though people have pushed those times way faster from what I've seen. I haven't really talked to anybody, but that makes sense. I think it was kind of due. Nylo had been for like, Din's obviously had been like an innovation, like the double hit melee weapons have been an innovation, but really I don't think like that the fundamental way you played Nylo had significantly changed in a duo perspective, really since like efficient duo Nylo metas were discovered. But the difference I would draw now is like, from what I understand, that I has more or less like let you play the waves in fundamentally different ways. You're not worried about the same choke points you were before. The priority system between the two players has significantly changed now, and it's awesome. It actually is like, it almost kind of makes me want to pot him again, to be honest. I think if Nylo hadn't turned out to be as perfect of a match if Sepulcher hadn't turned out to be as much of a perfect match for my interests as it has, I probably would be looking for a duo partner, even though everybody who I ran Nylo with in the past has either quit the game entirely or has moved on from top speedrunning, so I'd have to find a new partner, and the significant upfront time investment to get like on the same page with your partner at like every point in the room, so that they kind of like understanding priority systems between splits and like individual player tendencies and that kind of stuff. Like it just takes a shit ton of runs up front to kind of drill that into both of your heads before you can really even start like playing the game. Because maybe I'll even talk as I talk about Sepulcher, I think I'm probably going to talk about Nilo, and they're just going to lead back and forth into each other, because in my mind they're so similar in terms of like the skill sets they reward. But like the thing that I love the most about Nilo that really I don't think Sepulcher can't repeat is it's the team dynamic. And I think the aspect of duos in particular, duo is a scale where you can refine each player's decision making flowchart enough to the point where you have all of the precision of solo gameplay. In my opinion, I don't think you can really get to that point above duos, or at least I don't think I've ever felt that in any team size above duos in anything. And I think, I mean, it's just like exponential complexity, right, as you move up from there. So I do miss like the team aspect of it, but otherwise I think they're extremely comparable. I guess I could just real quickly show you the bank. It's not gonna be very aesthetic for this. It's all set up for purposes of mobile. That's why I have my my mining, fishing, and woodcutting are the three things I AFK depending on the amount of attention I want to play. And then like this is all set up for coral runs and whatnot. It's a mess. I don't think there's a whole lot to talk about in this first tab anyway. I guess that if you wanted to know how much Master Farmers I did 193,000 potato seeds worth. Gear, I haven't PVM'd at all in like, I don't know, at least 6 months. I have 0 PVM goals. I don't even know if I'm going to touch Raids 4 when it comes out, but so I don't even remember what's been new. Quiver is probably new. Vibo, I'm sure is new. I don't know if I had an Avernic at the time. I don't know if I had like SGS, ACB at the time. I definitely didn't have iSuck because that wasn't out yet, but that's more or less what I got. I like the spot that my gear is in. I feel like it's decent enough that I can do any PVM that ends up becoming meaningful for skilling. I can do at a high enough level that I'll be happy with, and I won't like feel bad, and I won't feel like there's gear upgrades that are short enough grinds that they could justify themselves in terms of time saved down the line. So I'm happy at the point I'm at with this. Really, it would just be like DT2 bosses I haven't touched. I haven't gotten any of the rings, and then raids really, other than like I reached the Cox Megas, but other than that I have like a Sang and a Vernic from Tob, and I have Emberlight. Sorry, why did I say Emberlight? I meant a Fang from TOA. I don't have a Light Bearer. I really would like to get a Light Bearer. I would like to get the Sunfire body. I'll probably go for Blessed Quiver at some point. If I'm ever going to do Vibo Slayer, I'll probably want it for that. Also, I need I guess I'll show the Blessed Bone Shards later, but I'm going to need a fair bit of Sunfire Splinters to ever use this up in the future. So, I don't know, not really a whole lot worth talking about in this. Feel free to pause and look if you're interested, but gems, this is mostly just from Zar thieving. That's what I managed to get from that. That's just Kingdom there. Runite ore, I actually was just doing I was mining it while I was doing Zar thieving. I was just setting the timer on my phone for 12 minutes or whatever it was, just so I could try to cover nails for Sepulcher. I made like 50k, and I know I'm going to need about double that more in the future. Blessed Bone Shards up to 620k of those. Not bad. 36k Giant Seaweed. I'm just playing the game as if I'm going for 200 wall because I don't really know what else I would do. And I don't know the exact number that the solver said. If you guys haven't seen it, I might throw it in the description if you're interested. It's fuck. What is that? It was let me find the name of this. I want to shout out. It's a really cool tool the guy made. It's basically it's a site equivalent to Temple where you can actually like import your current bank, and especially for Iron Men, it does some kind of regression equation solving where it works out all of the individual methods you would need to do to get most efficiently get to 200 mil, and you can like toggle on or off certain options for it. I DM'd it to somebody on Discord. Let me just look real quick. I want to properly shout them out because it's such a cool tool. I think it's still very much in like an early stage, but oh, there it is. It's ehp.gg is the name of the solver for it. All that to say, I think when I ran that thing on my bank, it told me I would need like 120k giant seaweed, which seemed low. I don't know where else it was pulling a fair bit of crafting XP from, but good enough for me because I do not enjoy doing giant seaweed runs. I don't know if there's really anything else very meaningful to talk about here. Again, feel free to pause if you're actually interested in taking a look. I've been banking some rosewood logs. That's what I've been doing mostly with my wood cutting. I got the boat teleport, so I just teleport to the island in the elf area with the rosewood trees. I usually just drop them, but I try to bring the log basket and bank like 50 at the end of every trip because I know they're decent for fire making. I got 10 rings of endurances. I'm hoping those might recover in value at some point because they're kind of pitifully cheap at this point, which is too bad. Miscellaneous shit tab. I have 2 pieces of iron. Evil Chicken, I think I probably had those last time. I probably shouted them out then, so still cool though. I might realistically finish the whole set. We'll see. Herbs. Meh. 38k coral. Happy with that. I don't think there's really anything else of note here. Seeds, again, kind of more or less the same. Water Rainer seeds, more than I'll ever plant. That's about it, though. Alcohols, 123 mil. Potions, yeah. And then this is food tab, I guess, or miscellaneous skilling shit. So let's actually get into doing Sepulcher, because that's what you're all here for, right? I have a feeling that it is going to be a little bit awkward trying to talk and do Sepulcher at the same time. I'm going to do my absolute best. I have not tried this before, so we will see. Let's switch this over to standards real quick. Sepulcher has been like my favorite thing I think I've ever done in terms of skilling in this game. I actually just love it. I've kind of have adopted the same, I don't know what you call it, like philosophy that I had used for the Nilo speedruns. For any of you who remember my client setup from that, my belief is that, I shouldn't say belief, this is a personal opinion or understanding of myself. For me, I think that the most interesting aspect of this game is that the fact that the tick system lets you play perfectly, right? The ticks are long enough that in terms of like in terms of gameplay that doesn't require just like a shit ton of inputs, right? So in gaming that isn't just like making 10 sets of darts every tick, that isn't humanly feasible. For like movement or attacking based stuff like this, you can play perfectly, right? Like if you watch the people who have done good 6-hour Sepulcher runs, which I actually hope to do one in the future. I never would have thought that I would be interested in doing another 6-hour again at age 30, but here we fucking are. Just because this shit has been so fun. But like when you watch those guys do Sepulcher, like there's lots of like small mistakes. I mean, like you can't always react, like first stick react to teleports. You can't always, I don't know what, all the little shit, right? Like you can't do it perfectly, but they make so few mistakes. And like if you broke down all of the ticks in one of those runs, I would bet that like probably more than 99% of the ticks are played perfectly. So that's what appeals to me about this game. And I guess to reach that point where you're making all the correct decisions, I want as little friction as possible between the game and my brain, right? Like That's why I strip shit down so just it looks like this. I get that it's visually unappealing to people. It looks just like goofy as fuck. It looks like you're, I don't know, just like a cry for attention or whatever. But like, once I adjusted to playing the game like this, which I started doing like 3 or 4 years ago, I kind of can't imagine going back to anything else. More or less everywhere I go, like I do it for PVM. I do it more or less to the extent that whatever the content in question allows me to do it with the tools that I have to set the client up this way, because the tools are unfortunately rather blunt, especially because a lot of it relies on Blindfold, which is amazing. I mean, like Blindfold is probably my favorite plugin ever, but it's not the most customizable, right? Like you have 6 options, and more or less you have 3 options that really meaningfully matter, because you're never turning off like RuneLite objects or the UI, at least for anything I've done thus far. So you have like entity, scenery, and terrain, right? So you have very few levers to set things up like this. And we have other hiders and whatnot. Like I have invested way more time than I have any reason to in trying to figure out how to remove things from my screen in my favorite video game. But at the end of the day, we have limited options. So to the extent that I can with those limited options, I've been trying to make every piece of content I do look like this. I want it to just be colored shapes, and I want to react to the particular colored shapes in as little time as possible, and I want to make the optimal decisions with the information that I can get from those colored shapes as quickly as possible. So that's probably all I'll say about the client thing. I figured I'd address it up front. I've talked about it at various points in other stuff before, but I think my mindset on it has also changed a bit over time. So I think at one point I was like kind of interested in defending it as a legitimate playstyle, or like even trying to like encourage other people to do it, and I'm kind of well past the point of that. So I figured I would just explain why I find it appealing, because I'm kind of past the point of having strong opinions or even like wanting to have extensive interactions in discussions related to that kind of stuff. Like I was for a long time like one of the guys who would argue about like the ethics of Iron Man ulting, like all that shit, right? And I'm just past it. And it seems like honestly most of the community is like, I'm glad we don't see those levels of discussion the same way. At least like I don't see them in the places where they used to occur, like Ironscape and whatnot. Like it seems like for the most part people have kind of just, I don't know, accepted that the game is highly customizable, both in terms of like playset, restrictions, even client stuff. Like it seems like people have become a fair bit less opinionated, which is a welcome change in my opinion. This actually hasn't been terrible so far. I've noticed that I've made a few mistakes I don't think I would make if I wasn't trying to talk at the same time, but it's pretty playable, which is nice. I was worried. So yeah, this, I don't know. I love this content. It's been amazing. I didn't think that I would actually be interested in like sitting down and doing full effort skilling anymore, because like even at the point that I was recording last time, like I had skilling goals, but I don't think that I was like, I don't know, very meaningfully grinding any of them. Sorry, there's probably gonna be a couple spots where it's hard to commentate while I do them. This is one of them in particular. But so for those of you who just like throw this on as background listening, I apologize. I hope this ends up being decent. No promises. I've been promising the ramble for long enough that I had to stop putting it off, and I really didn't feel like just like going and sitting at Karams or something like that. Especially if it's like I always feel like rambles should be, at least in a sense, like they should be a representative gameplay session. Like I always like seeing people do what they're actually doing. Like the people who would always go to like Arty rooftops or like just AFK gatherers when they would do rambles, like if that's where you feel like you can best communicate your ideas, like I get it. I'm not trying to like make fun of anybody, but like I feel like I always got the most out of rambles where I was like actually being able to watch somebody play the game and even offer like intermittent commentary on it. At least when I was watching people who like I feel like I wanted to learn from or gain perspective from. There's always something weirdly disarming about trying to have a conversation with yourself in a setting like this. Because like I've recorded plenty of videos before by myself, even ones where I'm talking, like outside of a ramble context. But like even if you have like some kind of like a list of topics or a list of questions, or you're, I don't know, talking to like chat or people in a text channel at the same time, like that's easy. So like the aspect of talking and having an ongoing conversation when there's not another party talking back to you is not foreign. But the ramble context, especially without any kind of notes or, I don't know, pre-planned ideas of what you're going to talk about, like the kind of stream of consciousness aspect of rambling is, I don't know, it feels weirdly intimate. Sorry, that's an odd way to describe it, but that's what I'm feeling as I sit here. So I mean, I guess I upload these videos so infrequently, and I've always tried to be pretty open about like what is actually going on in my life, because I feel like more so than other games I've played, real life circumstances impact my view, enjoyment, goals, those kinds of things in the game. I think that they very much do go hand in hand, and this is not a new observation on my part, but there's also something that's really, really true. I have found that the less time I have to play the game, the more enjoyable it becomes. Like the more I feel like I need the type of relaxation that these kinds of grinds offer to me. Like if I have nothing going on for a week, like if I have a random week off work, I will find it really hard to play more than like 4 or 5 hours in a day, which is good. It's a good thing. I'm not lamenting the fact that I don't feel like no-lifing skilling, but I don't enjoy those hours nearly as much as I do enjoy the like 90 minutes of Sepulchre I'll run when I get home from work or home from the gym or something before I go to bed. Like those, there's something about my ability to enjoy the game goes up so much more when I'm kind of needing that active meditation that it offers, right? I'm sure those of you who have skilled in any serious capacity will be able to understand this, and even maybe other people who with other play styles. Like personally, I never found that type of rhythm or relaxation from like PvM play styles or goals. Might just be me, maybe some people do. I also was never much of like a long-term pet hunter, so to speak, or like I never did a whole lot of PvM content other than like Vorkath long enough to really get like a sustained flow state from it. I love this part here. Like 4 North is so much more enjoyable than 4 South that I am always like a little disappointed when I roll 4 South, but at the same time, like, damn, I love that stretch. It's easy as hell. Like, you should never make a mistake on it, but something about it just tickles the brain. So what is going on? I don't even know if I talked much about real life the last time I recorded one of these. So I graduated. I know I was recording these back when I was in law school during the pandemic. So I graduated school in 23. I actually came back to the state that I was home from for my first job out of school, which has been really, really good for me in just a lot of different ways. I was first for work for a couple years and then for school for a couple years right afterwards. I was not at the state I grew up in, like away from friends and family and all that, which was fine. I was gone long enough that I like adjusted to it. Certainly, like I don't know, found new communities and whatnot, but I think it has just been really good for me to be home. But so yeah, I've been home now for 3 years. I started at a smaller firm. I was there for about 2 years ago, and then about 6 months ago I ended up switching to a larger one. I kind of got out of it. I wasn't really looking to changed jobs at the time. It wasn't something I had applied for. They reached out to me because they needed something very specific with my technical background. But I don't know. I think I always have had a little bit of this ambition, or like the sense that I could have done more with myself had I tried, or like had I taken things a little bit more seriously. And I think there was some part of me that felt that I kind of couldn't say no to this opportunity to join like a little bit more prestigious of a position. But like, I'm gonna be honest, I it hasn't been great. I don't particularly enjoy it. I enjoy it about as much as I did before, but I'm not sure. I think the concept of ego death has been stretched, and I think people use it to describe different things, but like, I think in a sense this new job of mine has been a kind of an ego death, in the sense that a lot of my self-conceptions about myself have kind of completely been shed, sort of like in terms of ambition, in terms of self-satisfaction, just in terms of what I prioritize. I don't want to get like into a whole lot of specifics, but this has been just I don't know, the last 6 months or so have been a very transformative time for me, and honestly a kind of uncomfortable way, if I'm being honest. Like it hasn't been all, geez, sorry, this section is fucking me up trying to talk at the same time. It hasn't been like particularly comfortable, and it's actually part of the reason why I feel like I'm a little bit on the outside with respect to the RuneScape community now. Like I don't really talk to anybody outside of like a couple of the channels like in Ironscape that I used to use a lot of. And I don't know. I kind of don't have a sense of what I want in a lot of ways, and it very much in real life and very much honestly in the game itself, which is, I don't know, there's something about when you're at a point where you feel that you should have either grown in a particular way or figured a particular thing out or moved past a certain phase of your life. Like when those of you who are my age or even close to my age can probably sympathize with this. It's kind of humbling in a way, and it's kind of uncomfortable as you hit those points where you're sort of forced to reckon with the fact that a previous conception of how you would be at this age, or how you would be at this time, or this point of career advancement, personal advancement, whatever, like when you realize that you were off the mark on that, and not in an entirely desirable way, it's uncomfortable. I know I've used that word a couple times now. I don't want to use like an overly negative word, because I think it's a very human experience, very natural experience. But I think when I'm in those kinds of settings, it makes it difficult for me to engage with the community in this game the same way I have in the past. Like, the fact that I'm still here and I'm enjoying the game and everything like that still makes sense to me. But I feel like the way I engaged with the community for so long, it was in such a, like, not that I'm worried this is going to come off like almost very negatively, but like, when you were friends with people for so long at the time, you were all playing this game very seriously. You were all making goals together and pushing each other to like achieve them and keep grinding and encouraging each other and stuff like that. Like, I find it very difficult to fall back into that mode of engagement now that I'm just not at that place anymore. Like, even though I'm still here and I'm still doing, like, I don't know, my in-game sessions are probably not noticeably distinguishable from whatever they were in the past, I feel distant from the community in a lot of ways. I don't think it's particularly healthy. I'm kind of, this video is maybe, I'm trying to come up like a bummer here. I realize it might, but like, I think I am kind of have just kind of been going through like a little bit of a slow grieving process for the loss of my relationships in the community of this game. Like, even though I haven't like disappeared or whatever, right? Like, I'm still here, they're still here, there's still people I can reach out to, but not so much on like a personal level with any one person, really kind of just collectively. I feel like I am just at an arm's length from the community at large now, and it's not entirely pleasant. Like, I think I miss it in a lot of ways. I miss kind of that community, that sense of camaraderie you would get from it, but at the same time, I find it very difficult to try to revert back to that prior mode of engagement. And that's kind of goes hand in hand with that is the aspect of setting goals, right? By the way, I was pacing there into 4 Never North, by the way. What was I saying? Damn. I was leading into something I wanted to talk about, and then I felt the need to comment on my time. Ego crept in, and then I lost my track. Oh, goals. For me, like, I want to draw kind of like a contrast between myself here, and like for those of you who listened to Body Rambles back in the day, like the way he would talk about goals, which I thought was kind of enviable. Like this, he had that way of talking about the game where he said that like the game might as well be offline, right? It might as well be a single player game for him, and like his ability to set goals and enjoy the game and everything like that wouldn't change. And I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? I mean, people play Iron Man mode, and some people don't have a like super high social battery or social appetite with respect to the game. So like there are people who play the game in a very discernibly individualistic manner, but at least for me, like I mean, like look at my client, right? Like there might as I'm in the instance here at Sepulchre, but like there might as well be people around me and I wouldn't even notice. Like I play the game in very much in isolation in that sense, but I feel that I have lost the ability to kind of set goals that I actually care about from that position of being arm's length from the community. Like I feel like goals for me, I didn't realize this at the time, but they're much more of a social thing than they ever were personal. At least I've kind of come to that conclusion. Like I'm playing the game now, I'm enjoying it, I'm interested in it, like it scratches the same itches, but like I have completely lost the feeling of any kind of obligation to even log in every day or every couple days. Like I'll just randomly not log in for the couple days because like, and it's not even like in the sense that it's, oh, I had a lot going on and I don't know, kind of intentionally wanted to focus, because like I had plenty of points like that in the past, right? I wasn't playing every single day, but like the idea that I have nothing going on, like I'm just sitting there doing nothing and I don't feel the need to log in. And for me, that is very much a reflection of the fact that I don't have goals. Like Ironman skillers have for a long time talked about the idea that 200 mil all can be a play style without being a realistic goal. And that was certainly something I always subscribed to, because I was pretty fucking sure, and ended up being right, I guess, that I wasn't going to play 16,000 efficient hours on Juke, and I'm most likely not going to do it on this account either, right? So, like, I'm still here playing with the 200 mil all play style or whatever, right? Like, I'm looting at Sepulchre, even though I sure hope I never do 200 mil in all my Bibles. Like, that makes complete sense. But still, like, even at the point before where I knew that I wasn't actually going to be achieving 200 mil, like, I still set myself like very tangible goals, right? Like I wanted to do 50 mil farming XP a year. I wanted to hit base XP milestones in all of the gatherers. I wanted to do I was setting goals like for the purpose of self-motivation. Like I was setting goals for the sake of, I don't know, it was for me, everything about Iron Man skilling it was goal-oriented gameplay, right? Like the idea of playing the game without specific goals kind of just didn't exist. This was not the right solve here at all. Oh boy. Oh, and I hit the flame. Wheels are coming off. But so I think the flip side of this, though, and what is interested me and I wanted to talk about in this video is, so okay, we talk about playing the game now without goals, right? I think I can accept that. I'm comfortable with that as an idea, but if you're not playing it with goals, Like, then all there is then is gameplay. And can I justify everything I do in this game as being enjoyable from a gameplay perspective? Like, I don't think that I can. I don't think that I can say when I'm doing a coral run, or I'm doing a seaweed run, or I'm gearing up my account to go AFK woodcutting on my phone at work, like, those aren't enjoyable gameplay activities in a vacuum, right? If you produced the exact same visual stimuli with a clone of the game with different assets, different whatever, like, the gameplay itself isn't fun. I wouldn't be like, oh man, I'm excited to play that game. So taking that to be true, and then taking it also my assertion to be true that I don't have goals, then, like, why do I do those things, and why do I still find enjoyment from it? Like, is playing efficiently a goal in itself? Is it inherently fun in itself in a way that kind of transcends the skeleton of the gameplay? I don't know. I've been thinking about it a lot. One of my personal challenges as I've gotten older has been, I have this obsession that my routine on a day-to-day basis has to be, in a way, sustainable. Like, I find it very hard to say I'm going to engage in this enjoyable but harmful activity on a one-off basis, like to let loose or do that. I find it difficult to be like, I'm gonna randomly take a sick day from work, call it a mental health day, and watch TV in bed once a year, even when I really feel like it. Like, those types of things that I would do in the past, like, I don't think that they're unhealthy. I have found it harder and harder as I've gotten older to kind of do anything in a way that I can't look at how I spent the last 24 hours and say, that's the way I could spend my time on an ongoing basis most days of the year for years at a time. So the reason that ties into what I was talking about previously is, so why am I doing these activities? Why am I doing these hourlies? Why am I AFKing the skilling? I don't feel like I can justify it from a gameplay perspective. I don't think that I have goals, at least to the extent that I'm able to be honest with myself about that. So what makes doing that sustainable? Why isn't that just waste? Why isn't that something that I should just shed? Why do, when I do try to shed it, I keep coming back to it, other than, I don't know, just pure muscle mass or fear of change or whatever? Like, this isn't something that I think I'm going to find an answer for, or even really need an answer for. I guess this is just what happens when I am sitting here at 9 p.m. and I turn the mic on with nothing to talk about. This is where my mind has drifted. How long have I been going for? God damn, it's already been 45 minutes. I get a north, by the way. Oh, ran out of flame again. I guess I want to talk about that idea a little bit more. What I was talking about with kind of, what am I mourning? Like, because I feel a real sense of, it sounds grim to say it about a game you presumably enjoy, but like, I have felt like just a little bit of a sense of mourning the last couple months. And I feel like I'm mourning in a way, like a conception of myself in a place in a community that was drawn together by shared goals. And I don't know if it's the community that I lost first, or lost interest in first, that has now expanded to the lack of goals. I don't know if it was the goals that made me then feel distant from the community, but I don't know. I'm feeling like an outsider in a way that I didn't in the past. And I'm not fighting it. It almost feels inevitable. And I guess that's sad. I think it's a somber experience at the risk of being too heavy with this. And like, I don't know, maybe I need to take like 3 steps back and none of this actually matters, right? Like, I'm still have access to the same people. I still have the ability to do, I don't know. Like, I haven't actually lost anything, so to speak, but I don't know. Maybe this is just like a slow realization of something that has been inevitable for a long time. I should talk a little bit about where the game is headed. I don't feel that I have particularly strong opinions about it. I haven't really kept up a ton with new content. This past Leagues, which is, I guess as you're watching this, I don't know the specific timeline, but fairly close to being over. It's been out for what seems like about a month now. Like they're usually like 6 weeks, something like that. This has been the first Leagues that I haven't played. I haven't really done any new bosses or anything, with the one exception. I did want to talk about Doom. Doom is amazing. I think Doom is a fantastic boss. I think that is probably easily like a top 3 boss. I don't feel like ranking them, but it would be Doom, Tob, and then I don't know, pick your third. There's a lot of things it could be depending on what you wanted to value or what I was feeling on that particular day. So Doom was amazing. Big fan of that. I am generally an optimist when it comes to the direction of this game. Like, I think on the whole, especially coming back and playing the second Iron Man now, like, it has made me appreciate the game and kind of the totality of the updates they've done, and the game is moving in the right direction. I feel no doubt about that. I'm honestly, one of the things that frustrates me the most about the skilling community, which I don't know if I just see it less because I'm around less or if people have actually kind of grown out of it, but like, I'm glad we don't see nearly the amount of whining about change or like any deviation from the past as we used to see. But I never, even when I was kind of like a hardcore skiller and even presumably most cared about the concept of, well, I don't think being devalued or the game being trivialized in certain ways, like, I've always felt like they were moving in the right direction with it, and that hasn't changed. But I think I kind of have to square that with the fact that I'm simultaneously not particularly optimistic about Raids 4, which will be coming out sometime within 12 months from now. Who knows? They've probably been, I think they usually telegraph those things fairly well in advance. So I'm sure some of you have an idea of when that's coming out, and a better idea than when I do, so please forgive me. But whenever that comes out, I'm not feeling particularly optimistic. And I'm unsure why, because like, I guess probably a little bit of it is my fear that like Doom it seems to have been relatively well received kind of across the board, but I think my fear is that Jagex has started to see challenging content like Doom as being separate from core PVM updates such as raids. Right, like I think that hard content, really everything since Inferno and Tob, which came out I think like 11 months apart, so I almost see that as like a single moment in time of PVM updates. I think like since that moment, we've consistently seen endgame PVM diverge from just difficulty, which I don't is not a bad thing. I'm not a difficulty equals good type PVM elitist. That's not the perspective I'm trying to espouse here. But I feel like the most interesting things they've really done since Tob have not been the major PVM releases. I feel that the major PVM stuff has started to had too many like business design constraints to it. It feels like it kind of needs to have so much mass appeal that you just end up kind of rounding off the edges that bring a lot of personality or nuance or whatever to content that kind of makes it stick, right? Like, I think Doom fell into a nice spot for them where the stuff it was offering are good. I mean, it's offering best in slot. All of its drops are best in slot, but like, it's not so essential to the game that it needed to have that same level. Oh god, I fucked this up. It didn't need to have kind of that same level of accessibility. It's not even like, it still has it, right, with the way it scales up, but I don't think we will see something that kind of has that amount of back-to-back tick perfect decision making required to do it at max efficiency that you get from high level Doom. And actually I realized as well that my perspective on Doom and its difficulty I think is probably colored a little bit by the fact that I was doing it as an Iron Man in relatively mediocre gear. It seems like, I won't say it's easy because I don't think that's fair or even right, but it certainly looks considerably different when I see people do it in max, when they can get like a ZCB spec every car phase, when they're killing it like before it does the final stomp every time. Like that seems like you're playing almost kind of a different piece of content at that point. But like when you're consistently needing to engage with all of the mechanics every kill, really hard, really fun. So that was a big thumbs up for me. But I don't know. Maybe my level of interest in Raids 4 is somewhat of a reflection of kind of the stuff I was discussing with respect to the community, because I mean, I sure hope it's going to be required to do it in groups. I know that when I say required, I don't think it'll actually be like a hard team requirement in the sense of previous content, but I sure hope that they will at least make it more efficient. I think that they moved in the right direction with TOA. I think they fell a little too far on the side of making solo just the lowest friction way of engaging with the content and still doing it efficiently. But anyway, I think that the aspect of kind of figuring something like that out in a group setting has lost some appeal to me, right? Why am I dodging backwards? Okay, I think we're gonna have to wrap this shit up after this run. This has not been good. So, not super optimistic about Raids 4. I think also, though, at the same, like, just it makes me feel like am I lying about not having skilling goals? Because I almost wanted to say that I don't feel like I want to step away from skilling. Like, even if you don't have a goal with skilling, it feels, at least to me, that it requires a level of buy-in from a playstyle perspective that makes it difficult for me to kind of content hop and enjoy significant non-skilling grinds simultaneously. Which is probably not good. I know there are plenty of people who do both, right? Enjoy both. Who knows? Maybe things will turn around. Oh, I didn't. Yeah, this has been gameplay and everything is going downhill fast. I actually might, if you're hearing this and you know I didn't edit out the last 5 minutes, but like, I feel like this has gotten consistently less coherent towards the end of this video. So if you made it this far, thank you for listening. I really do appreciate it. This will not be the last ramble I make on this channel. I have a feeling I will probably still be doing Sepulcher when I make the next one, or at the very least I'll return to it just for recording purposes, even though, yeah, it's led to a fair number of little disruptions, but just adds a little spice. I don't know when, if ever, I'm going to actually attempt a 6-hour with this. I do really want to. I am not sure if I can maintain the focus for that long. That worries me a little bit. But I think it would be a really good way to... I don't know. I think this good content, and I think Sepulcher is good content, as I've discussed. Good content, I think the level of enjoyment scales with the amount of effort you put into it and the level of focus you have, right? So for me, when you are trying to do it as optimally as possible, even for like an extended period of time like that, that pushes the gameplay itself to be more enjoyable way I don't think you can really get otherwise. That's why, like, even like when I was doing fantasy, which was absolutely a mistake in retrospect, I should not have done that, but like I was just doing 2-tick fishing the whole time, and I just like kept resetting the 6-hour every hour or two to like a nuclear start on the rats, just because like it made it more fun and it like forced me to pay attention, the fact that I could at least like pretend that I was trying to do that. Nice, we didn't fail at the final section here. Well, I guess I shouldn't speak too soon. I'm kind of embarrassed that I haven't yet gotten a sub 202 fifth floor. Oh, fuck me, I do literally the final one. Guess we're stretching the video out just a little bit longer. Honestly, I should probably just end the recording here. Sorry this last minute or so has kind of just been fumbled. I think as soon as I cross the finish line on this lap, we're just going to shut this off because this is... I feel myself not talking and I feel guilty about the fact that I'm not talking. So, okay. There we go. Thank you a ton for watching. I really do appreciate you guys. It's always special to be able to come back and do these. So, till next time.